जय गिरिवराधारी जय गिरिवराधारी यशोदनन्दन व्रजनरञ्जन यशोदनन्दन व्रजनरञ्जन यमुनतीरा वनचारि यमुनतीरा वनचारि जय राधा माधवा जय कुञ्ज विहारी जय राधा माधवा जय कुञ्ज विहारी हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय राधा गिरिधारी श्री राधे जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रमयी जय गौरानिताय श्री श्री गौरानिताय जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव जय जय गुरुदेव जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय गुरुदेव की जय All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, everyone. Please welcome to this session. So, we are reading the Srimad Bhagavatam. Please bless me so that I can deliver correct messages. Please also correct me if I do any mistakes. Thank you. Hare Krishna. So, we start with Prabhupada Lilamrit. I'm going to share the screen. We are reading the chapter 21, Beyond the Lower East Side. Mataji, can you see the screen? Are you able to see?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, okay. Therefore, in every culture, there is a institution of marriage. Prabhupada replied, you can get yourself married and live peacefully with one woman, but the wife should not be used as a machine for sense gratification. Sex should be restricted to once a month and only for propagation of children. Hayagriva, who was seated just to Swamiji's left beside the large dangling symbol, spoke out suddenly. Only once a month, and with a touch of piteous humor, he added loudly, better to forget the whole thing. Yes, that's it. Very good boy. Swamiji laughed, and others joined him. It is best not to think of it. Best just to chant Hare Krishna. And he helped up his hands as if he were chanting on strand of beads. That way we will be saved from so much botheration. Sex is like a itching sensation, that's all. And we when we scratch, it gets worse. So we should tolerate the itching and ask Krishna to help us. It is not easy. Sex is the highest pleasure in the material world. And it is also the greatest bondage. But Steve Goldsmith was shaking his head. Prabhupada looked at him, smiling. There is still a problem. It's just that, well, it's been proved dangerous to repress the sex drive. There is a theory that we have wars because people are eating meat, Prabhupada interrupted. As long as people eat meat, there will be war. And if a man eats meat, he will be sure to have illicit sex also. Steve Goldsmith was an influential friend and supporter of ISKCON, but Prabhupada would not change the philosophy of Krishna consciousness to please the Americans. Jordan Hall on West 57th Street cost $200 to rent for one night. Raya Rama thought it was time Swamiji tried reaching some of the more sophisticated New Yorkers, and since Judeston Hall was near Kearney's Hall and sometimes had interesting concerts and lectures, he thought it would be a good place to start. Swamiji agreed to the idea, and Raya Rama printed an announcement which is distributed in the Midtown bookstores. On the night of event, devotees paraded through the Midtown entertainment areas, beating a bass drum and handing out leaflets. Then they returned to Justin Hall for program. Only 7 people attended. The devotees felt terrible. They had missed Swamiji and spent the equivalent of month's rent. We can cancel the program if you like, Swamiji. Raya Rama said, but Prabhupada replied, no, let us chant and speak. So the devotees took the stage and chanted with Swamiji and danced, and then sat beside him as lectured, his voice echoing through the empty hall. Afterwards, Swamiji called for questions, and a young man about 15 vacant rows back asked whether he was correct in understanding that the Swamiji's philosophy was preliminarily for reforming destitute young people. No, Prabhupada replied. Everyone in this material world is lost and destitute, even the so-called successful person, because everyone has forgotten Krishna. After the program, Swamiji sat in a chair by the exit as the few members of the audience were leaving. A respectable-looking couple introduced themselves, and Swamiji sat up very straight with folded palms and smiled. Brahmananda's mother was present, and Swamiji was very cordial toward her. But in general, the devotees were depressed at the small turnout. I'm sorry, Swamiji. We invited you here, and almost no one came. Raya Rama apologized, but Prabhupada raised his eyebrows and said, no one. You did not see Narada. You did not see Lord Brahma. When there is chanting of Hare Krishna, even the demigods come to participate. Back at the temple, Prabhupada chided Raya Rama. I told you we should have charged money. When something is free, people think it is worthless. But just charge $3 or $5, and people will think, oh, you are offering some very valuable thing. In Bengal, there is a story of a man who went house to house offering free mangoes, and no one would take his mangoes because everyone thought, oh, why he is giving away these mangoes? There must be something wrong with them. So he charged 3 rupees, and then they thought, these look like good mangoes. The price is only 3 rupees. All right. So when people see that something is free, they think it is worthless. Charge them some money and they will think it is very nice. Mataji, can I stop here?
Yes, Mataji, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. I'm stopping. Okay. Today we are reading the verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto, and chapter 28. Paranjana becomes woman in next life. So I'm going to share the screen, the words. Are you able to see, Mataji, the verse?
Yeah. Yes, Mataji, thank you.
Verse number 16, chapter 28. fourth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So the chapter name is Puranjana becomes woman in next life. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Duhitru putra pautram cha jami jamatar parsadan svatva vasistam yat kinchid gruhakosa parichadam. Duhitru putra pautram cha jami jamatar parsadan svatva vasistam yat kinchid गृहकोशा परिच्छदम् दुहृतृपौत्रपौत्रं च जामिजामातृपार्षदान् स्वत्ववसिस्तां यत्किञ्चित् गृहकोशा परिच्छदम्. Hare Krishna. Anybody wants to recite? Please welcome.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam, please go ahead.
Putra putranam cha jami jamati parshadan swata avashishtam yat kinche griha kosha parichadam. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam, Prabhuji, please.
Duhitri putra putrangscha jami jamatri parshodam shatva vasishtam jat kinchit griha kosha parichadam. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam.
Duhitri putra pautramscha jami jamatri parshadan swatva vasishtam yat kinchit griha kosha parichadam. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. I am also trying.
Yes, Mataji, please.
Duhitra putra pautrangscha jami jamatri parshadan swatva vashishtang jat kinchit griha kosha parichadam. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Anybody would like to? If not, we'll go for synonyms. So anybody wants to read the synonyms?
Yes, Mataji, I can go.
Yeah.
Dohitra, daughters, Putra, sons, Putram, grandsons, Cho, and Jami, daughters-in-law, Jamitri, sons-in-law, Parshadan, associates, Sattva, property, Avasthitam, remaining, Yat Kinchit, whatever, Griha, home, Kosha, accumulation of wealth, Parichadam, household, paraphernalia. Thank you, Mataji. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you, Mataji. So anybody wants to read translation purport?
May I, Mataji, Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranams, Mataji, please. Yeah. Translation
Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Yeah.
King Puranjan then began to think of his daughters, sons, grandsons, daughters-in-law, sons-in-law, servants and other associates, as well as his household, paraphernalia, and his little accumulations of wealth. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. So anybody would like to read purport?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. It is not infrequent for a person overly attached to the material body to request a physician to prolong his life at least for some time. If the so-called scientific physician is able to prolong one's life for a few minutes, through the use of oxygen or other medication, he thinks that he is very successful in his attempts, although ultimately the parents will die. This is called the struggle for existence. At the time of death, both patient and physician still think of prolonged life. although all the constituents of the body are practically dead and gone. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Yeah, we'll read translation one more time. King Puranjana then began to think of his daughters, sons, grandsons, daughter-in-laws, son-in-laws, servants, and other associates, as well as his house, his household paraphernalia, and his little accumulation of wealth. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-salakaya Chakshur-unmilitamena Tasmai Sri-Gurave Namaha. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudeyate Nashtaprayasu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavate Sevaya Bhagavati Bhakti Bhagavati Naishtaki. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So we have been hearing the episode of Allegory. It is narrating by Srila Narada Muni to Prachinabahi. So he is highlighting the characteristics of Prachinabahi in the form of story, allegory. So in this story, the hero, the main character is Puranjana, and we have been hearing the characteristics, activities of Puranjana, how he is passing his life with so many sense enjoyment and sacrifices and the rituals, and there is no aim of life without any life, aim of life. He is passing his life, enjoying his life with wife, children, and all these sense enjoyments. So if you see just before the episode, just behind the scene, so he was enjoying with the wife and enjoying senses, going for hunting, sacrifices, and animal killing. So he was enjoying the life in this way. Suddenly, the daughter of Kalajara, so she attacked to the Puranjana. So what happened? Suddenly he got old age and not able to do any things. He became weak. That time the king was attacked by Gandharvas, Yavanas soldiers, and his servant, the serpent, he was fighting with them for many years, and that serpent also became weak. All the gates of the city closed. So that means they became congested, nowhere to go. And the Kalakanya also smashed the desire of Puranjana to leave the city. So he was so old, he was so weak, he can't do anything. And what are the situations, what is the condition of Puranjana is explained. He was overwhelmed, first of all. He was so worried, what is happening to me? So the body cannot cooperate him, and the body organs are becoming weak, old age, and the no sense enjoyment, material enjoyment is stale. So the no more, because he can't do anything. And the thing, the important thing he's doing is he's keep on remembering his children, wife, because he was so attached to them. So he was thinking how they will be maintained. So how my wife will be maintaining children. So I can't do anything. So keep on thinking about their welfare, how they could be maintained. That time, Yavana king and the other soldiers, they set fire. The fire was ablaze. That condition. So he was in midst of the fire. All the gates are closed. The condition is so miserable. So that is the situation of our condition life. So we can relate our lives with this condition of Puranjana. So we are also in the same condition, the material world, with so many obligations, so many attachments. So here also in these words, we can see that King Punanjana is thinking about wife, children, and the property, relatives, wealth, the kingdom. How I can get back my kingdom? How can I maintain my children? How can I maintain wife? I can enjoy with the wife. So these are the things he is going through. So this is very small purport. This is very small words, but lots of information is there. But we see here the 4 points. What is the struggle for existence? And why they go for prolonged life? Who are those people? They want the more life, more and more years to live. And also from this, we have to understand what are the things we have to hear, we have to remember, what we have to glorify. So comparison between material and spiritual. And how to remember at the time of the, what to remember at the time of that. These are the topics we are going to discuss today. So according to Isopanishad, so the 17th mantra, so Prabhupada is explaining that the conditioned life, conditioned soul actually, what are the functions of the conditioned soul? So the conditioned soul has dual function, 2 functions mainly. So anybody wants to share what are the main functions of the conditioned soul? What are the 2 main functions? Any idea?
Eating, mating, sleeping.
Yes, eating, mating, sleeping. Yeah. Anything beyond that? They have chance to do. Whether they do or not, they can do it. Mainly the 2 things, the 2 functions of the conditioned soul is maintaining their body and also self-realization. So the maintenance of body, it means, as you said, sleeping, eating, mating, defending. So how to protect, how to maintain body. So for that they have to earn for the livelihood. And how to earn money, dharma, artha, kama, moksha. So moksha part is not here actually. The dharma, artha is here. Kama, enjoyment. How to enjoyment, how to nourish the body, how to maintain social status with others, and how to follow the rituals, how to follow the relations, family relations, friends, how to maintain family, children, wife. So these are the maintenance of these are the points come under the maintenance of the body. They struggle, they keep on, they want to earn, they keep on hankering for the earning, hankering for the enjoyment. If one thing is not fulfilled, they hanker for more and more. They try. They don't even sleep. They try. So in that they pass the time. And the second part, self-realization. Once they fed up, they come to this point. They don't have actually time to realize about self also. So many people, they don't know. If you say that you are not a body, you are soul, they just look at us like a mad people. What you are talking about? So let me enjoy. So they are in that concept. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, 2nd canto, 1st verses, Srila Sukadeva Goswami explained that. So Gruhamedis. So what are the characteristics of Brahmedis? Here we can relate the characteristics of Brahmedi in the maintenance of the body. So the function, one of the functions of the conditioned soul is maintenance of the body. How they maintain? They spend the daytime in earning the money all the times. How to spend my time in earning money so that I can enjoy. When night comes, how they spend the night time with sleeping and also with the sex. So they are passing the time day and night in these earning, sleeping, and with relations, enjoyments, enjoyments. No aim of their life. They don't have any aim of life. So they don't even have time to think, well, who am I? So what is this? So they cannot discriminate body and soul. So no God consciousness. And also the important thing, they depend on their fallible soldiers. Valuable soldiers means the wife, they depend on their wife, parents, children for their necessities. They think they are going to help at the end of the time. When the death comes, these are the people, they are going to help me, they are going to protect me. But so they don't know the higher goal of the life, who is actually going to protect their lives. So in the biggest danger. And also they hear about mundane topics. What generally they hear? Anybody wants to share? What are the topics they want to enjoy? What are the topics they want to hear?
All mundane things, prajalpa,
Yes.
and how can they do economic development, politics.
Politics, yes. Sports, movies,
Yes.
clothes, jewels, how to improve their business. So these things
Gram
generally
Katha, Mataji, Gram Katha, worship about others.
others.
Prajalpa.
Yes, yes.
Prajalpa.
That is right. Yeah. So they enjoy talking about others, gossips.
Mm.
So they don't know their mistakes, they cannot rectify their mistakes, but they point out others. So they spend day and night with these prajalpas, but
Mm.
they never have time to go to temple, talk about the Lord, talk about the self. They don't have time. So they always after mundane things. That's where the the function of the conditioned soul happens in this material world. So here the Gruhamedi is spending the time like this. So the Sukadeva Goswami was answering the Parikshit Maharaj's question in the second chapter. Parikshit Maharaj, at the end of the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, asked two questions. So what is the duty of the people in general in all situations, and especially at the time of death? What they have to do, what they have to hear, what they have to glorify, what they have to remember. So here we see in the condition, in the material world, conditioned soul is passing their time with prajalpa, mundane things. So that is not going to help them for the perfection. So Sukadeva Goswami is giving the tips how to do, how what to speak, what to remember, what to glorify. So we can talk so many things, but our tongue should be used for the glorification of Lord. So there are three verses, very important verses explained in first and second canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. First canto, the second verse, second chapter, 13th verse. It says, Atabrahmi didestesta varnasrama vibhagasa svanustista dharmasya samsiddha haritoshanam. Whatever activities you are doing, wherever you are in the varnasrama, wherever status you are, the activities, whatever you are performing, should be pleasing to the Lord. Samsiddhi haritoshanam. So have to please that activity should please the Lord. Otherwise, Sramayeva Kevalam, those actives, all that means it's a waste of time. So whatever you are doing, whatever you are doing, maintaining, and all these, they come under the category to please the Lord. Samsiddhi Haritoshanam. So in the second chapter, first chapter, fifth verse, so Sukadeva Goswami says, Tasmat Bharat Sarvatma Bhagavan Isvaro Hari Srotavya Kirtitavyasya Smrityavya Chetasa Bhayam. So three things he is repeatedly saying what we have to do. Srotavya, Kirtitavya, Smrityavya Chetasa Bhayam. So if you want to free from all these anxieties, material miseries, so you have to glorify Srotavya, you have to hear Kirtitavya, you have to glorify, and you have to remember Smratavya. To whom? Bhagavan Isvaro Hari. You have to glorify the Supreme Lord. So that is the perfection of light. Remembering the Lord is the perfection of light. So it will help you at the end of the time, the end of the life. So that is when death comes, it will help. That remembrance can help you to remember the Lord. And in the first canto, second chapter 14th verse, it says, Tasmat ekena manasa Bhagavan Saraswatam Pati Srotavya Kirtitavyasya Dhyayaya Pujayasya Nityada. So here it is saying one pointed attention is needed. How we have to remember? That is also given here. So one pointed attention is needed. So we cannot do just like that casually. So we need focus. So when you are hearing about Lord, you need focus. When you are chanting, when you are glorifying, completely absorb and you chant. Completely absorb and you hear. And so you do the puja, do the worship, completely absorb and do it. The one-pointed focus should be there. And also in second canto, second chapter, 36 verse, again Sukadeva Goswami says, Tasma Sarvatma Rajan, Hari Sarvatra Sarvada, Srotavya Krititavyasya Smrutavya Bhagavan Runam. So what is that? He is saying all the times, always, at any situation. What is the duty of the conditioned soul? To hear, glorify, remember, worship the Supreme Lord. That is the aim of the life. So even in this chapter, if you in this canto, Narada Muni appeared before Prachina Barhi because he doesn't have any aim. So he was doing the rituals, so many animal sacrifices for two things, to free from the miseries, to get the happiness. So Narada Muni is warning Prachina Barhi, no, you don't get any perfection, you don't get happiness by these rituals, by animal sacrifices. For that, you have to do devotional service. That is the Bhakti Yoga. You have to get connected to the Bhakti Yoga. You have to hear the glories of the Lord. You have to remember the Lord. You have to worship the Lord. That's why the Rupa Goswami, Nectar of Devotion, the 9 processes are given. Sravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Vandanam, Archanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam. So you can take up any process and connect to the Lord. So that will help you to remember at the time of the death. And Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita also, he says that. So whenever at the time of death, if you remember me, surely you will attain me. So he is giving so much assurance also. Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita giving us the guidance how to attain that. The process also given, the method also given. So only thing you have to practice. What Krishna is saying in 8th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, 5th verse. Antakale cha mameva smaranmukta kalevam yaprayati madbhavam yati nasti hatra samsayaha. There is no doubt. So when you remember me at the time of the living body, you can attain me. It is for sure. He giving the assurance. But how far we are taking that assurance? So whole life you are thinking about mundane things. So you are keeping the attachments with the relations, wife. You think they are going to the protectors. So whole lifetime you are thinking something else other than the Lord. How can you remember? So the death is not like a art of living. That is the art of the whole Krishna consciousness. Whole this process is art of dying, not art of living. So how you pass the test is very, very important. That point is very, very important. Because if you see in the Bhagavad Gita, the second chapter, 13th verse, Dehinosmin yada dehi kaumaram ipanam jara, tata dehantara prapti dhirastramohiti. So that soul migrates from one body to another at the time of the death. The sober person, devotees, they don't lament. But mundane people, they think a lot about it. So there are so many scenarios in the material world. So the one beautiful wife has a husband, beautiful children, house. She got some disease. She is about to die. So she was so attached to the husband and everyone. So what she thinks, what she requests to doctor, can you prolong my life for some more days so that I can spend my beautiful daughter? I can spend with my husband. She requests the doctor. Can doctors do that one? Maybe few minutes, few hours, maybe 1 or 2 days, nothing. So they cannot. This is struggle for existence. And somebody in the last minute, they request fathers, my son, my daughter is in the foreign. They are going to come. Can I stay for few more days to see them? Can you prolong my life? So is it possible? Because they don't have any aim of life. They think this material, this is the body, so I can stay forever here. So at the time of death, they think, no, this is not correct. Some people, they realize, some people, they may not. So unless you practice from the beginning, as Prahlad Maharaj said, Kaumaram Acharet Prajna Dharmam Bhagavatanigam. You have to practice is this Krishna conscious from the beginning of the life, from the tender age of the life. Then only you can remember at the time of the death. So that time, at the time of death, we can relate it to Puranjana. So how was the condition? No body parts work. We can't hear, we can't speak, we can't remember, we can chant. So that time, how can we remember? It is a big puzzle for everyone. So Krishna says in the 8th chapter, 6th verse of Bhagavad Gita, Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam, yajati ante kalevaram, tam tam eveti kauntena, sada tad bhava bhavita. So whatever you think at the time of the death, when the soul leaving the body, that, so you get the same, the impressions, whatever you are thinking, you become the same. So the Prabhupada also explained the example of Bharat Maharaj. So he was a great devotee. So he was so perfect. He was doing devotion service, chanting, glorifying, hearing, everything. But at the time of death, what he was remembering? He was remembering the deer. He was so attached to the deer. He was remembering how if I leave the body, how the deer could be maintained, how the deer could live, thinking the next day we become a. So it is true, whatever thoughts we think, at the time of that, we become like that. Even in the Puranjana, so we can see that he is thinking too much about his wife, how she can live, how she can maintain. So he's at one step, he was worrying about, I'm not enjoying with her. So he was remembering how he was enjoying before with her. So each and every second. So eating together, sleeping together, and working together, everything. Now it is stopped. He was thinking about it. So they become like that. So there is one story, Narada Muni. There was a Brahmana. So a young Brahmana was doing lots of devotion service so nicely. And Narada Muni came. So this is time you to leave because you are perfect, doing everything. You can go back. Come with me. The Brahman boy said, no. I have lots of life. I have to see. So and I want to get married. So Narada Muni said, okay, get married. After some time, so he got married and enjoying everything. Narada Muni came. So it's a time to you just enjoy it. It's enough. You can come back. The Brahmana boy said, no. I want some children to enjoy. So I didn't have any experience with the children. I want to taste that relation also. Narada Muni said, okay. So he had some children. He was enjoying the life. Life is going so smoothly. Narada Muni again came. And he was asking, so are you ready? So you got your children, everything is done. Time to come back. So I said, no. So my children, they're about to marry. So I have to be here. My wife cannot do it. So like this, he was pausing, though the children got married. Again, Narada Muni came. So he said, so, no, my children are going to do the birth to children. I have to take care of the grandsons. So like this, he was pausing. He was enjoying. In the 17th chapter, the Upanishad also says, so this conditioned soul, he gets different bodies. Different bodies or different dresses are given by material nature, Prakriti, Maya, Devi, according to desire. So this Brahman boy was thinking all the times how to I support my children. He was so attached to the wife, children, grandchildren. So he died. And the Nardamani came. He was looking for the Brahman boy. So he saw that there was a dog barking next to him. So he able to see that soul. So that Brahman boy became a dog because he was always thinking about how to supervise them, how to help them. So he became a dog. After some time he came, so he became a snake. So he was guarding the fields of their sons. So he said, no, my children, they don't know how to maintain the field. So many other animals are coming and eating the crop. That's why I want to help them. He became a snake. Like this, we pass the lives on so many years with different bodies, different dresses according to our desire. So we don't have a time to think about the Lord. So why we are getting suffering? So this is a suffer. But that suffering also they are enjoying. They are thinking it is a good. So even they get a little happiness in between. They think, so I am enjoying. They are seeking the temporary enjoyment. They are not after permanent enjoyment. So the Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita is telling what is the permanent happiness. So what is the process? Don't want to come back again. So in Bhagavad Gita, 4th chapter, 9th verse, Krishna says, Janma karma cha me devyam evam nivoti tattva takta jnanam punarjanma iti bhavati. So Arjuna, that means whoever understand me, whoever knows this knowledge, whoever knows this process, they don't need to come back. So like this, the conditioned soul is passing. They think this is the ultimate place. So they are making so many plans to live permanently here only. So they don't know the one day that death comes, you have to leave everything and go back. So they don't know, they don't have any idea what is next. What after the death, what comes, what I am going to do. So they don't think all these. They just think about what is going on the present. So I'm having money, I'm having good wife, good children, good building, car, so many luxuries. I'm enjoying. That's all. No more other things. So even in Bhagavad Gita, 9th chapter, from 30th verse to 34 verses, Krishna says repeatedly that. So if you are situated in the devotional service, even though you are doing abominable things, it's okay. You will be situated in the right platform. So he is a sadhu. Apichat sudaracharo. Sudaracharo means a loose character. Bhajate mam anyanyadra. So without any other deviation, if you are doing the devotional service, even though some abominable things, mistakes happen, sadhu eva samanvate, they consider it as a sadhu. Krishna is declaring all these. So he is warning us, don't be too engrossed in this material world. Do some time, squeeze some time to think about you. That is the second function of the conditioned soul. What is it? Self-realization. The first function is maintaining body. The second function is self-realization, thinking about the soul. So I'm not body, I'm my soul. So whole Bhagavad Gita is teaching about that concept. We are not body and we are soul. And if you come to that level, so Krishna will help us. So Sukadeva Goswami also giving the part to hear, glorify, and the remembrance the Lord's name, form, guna, and pastimes of the Lord. So these are the things we have to remember. In the 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the next verse, 31 verse. So Krishna says, Kaunteya abhijanati, name bhakta pranasyati. So my devotees never perish. If they are situated in the devotional service, they never perish. So I will help them. Krishna is giving so many assurances in many verses, Bhagavad Gita. So we are ignoring those verses, ignoring that assurances. We are thinking So we can do it. We are depending on our strength. We are not depending on Lord. And in the 33 verse also, Krishna is saying that, so whoever it is, maybe woman, Vaisya, Sudra, born in low family, if they take up this process of devotion service, they surely attain me. So take up the time to think about yourself, think about the Lord, spend your time with the hearing, then your life will be success. In the 13th one also, he's saying that even though you are in the material world, do some. Even though you are in this material creation, many personalities, Brahmins, Kshatriyas, they followed the path and they attained me. So he's giving so many examples like Rajarshis, so many Prithu Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Dhruva Maharaj. They are Rajarshis. They have taken the path and they are attained. They attained the Lord Krishna. So even though you are engrossed with so many other things, just remember me. He is giving the chances to. He facilitated us with this processes. And with the material world is external energy of the Lord. So external energy is giving us the guidance. So we are getting the punishments. So with the external energy of the Lord, so we are getting the punishments. We are rectifying. Why we are taking the birth in the material world? To rectify our mistakes. So Lord send us to fulfill our desires and come back. So in that fulfilling the desires, we are committing so many mistakes and we are prolonging our desires and we are staying back here only. So this condition life, this material life is for our rectification, purification. Lord has given the chance. And through his internal energy, Lord has given the chance to connect him through the books, that means through the scriptures, through the spiritual master, through the saintly persons. So we connect with them and we can go back to him. So there are lots of facilities also given. If you utilize that one, we can able to do the other function of the conditioned souls, that is the self-realization. So that is the dual function of the condition. If he is able to do, so if he balance both, that is the Grihastha, the opposite of Grahamedi. Grahamedi is always in the one point. They do only one function, maintaining the body. Grihasthas, it's a one ashrama of the Varnasrama system. So they balance, they do the sadhana, the whole process of Krishna consciousness. They invite Lord in their lives. They take some time to read about them, read about the Lord, and they spend some time to associate with the people. That means they grihasthas, they do the two functions properly, both self-realization and maintaining the family. So they just earn for the survival of the body. The remaining time they do for the self-realization, for the process, the Krishna consciousness process. And the Lord, and the Krishna also saying in the 22nd verse of 9th chapter, same 9th chapter, Ananya Chintaya Stomam, Ejana Aripasate, Tesam Nityatanam, Yogakshema Vahamyam. So I will take care of. So only thing you have to remember me. So I will take care of everything. And the key verse in the 9th chapter, 34th verse, what Krishna is saying, Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskritam. Mam eva sesi tavyam atmanam atparayanam. That means becoming my devotee, offering obeisance, engage your mind, thinking of me, bring obeisances to me, worship me, completely absorb in me. So he is giving the processes. This is the process you have to do when you are living and at the time of the death. Automatically you can remember. If you do all this, so glorifying the Lord, remembering the Lord, the devotion service to the Lord, and chanting about the Lord, So if you do all these things in your life, automatically you will remember at the time of the death. So in the mantra 17th, again I'm repeating, the mantra 17th of Isopanishad says, the translation, I'm going to share the translation. Yeah, please bear with me. Anybody wants to read the translation, please? Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Let this temporary body be burned to ashes, and let the year of life merge with the totality of year. Now, O my Lord, please remember all my sacrifices, and because you are the ultimate beneficiary, please remember all that I have done for you. Hare
Yes.
Krishna.
So that is the mood we should have. So when we can do it, if you do something for the Lord throughout your life, so then we can request Lord, please remember the sacrifices and please help me in remembering. You can do it for me. So if you are sincere throughout life, at the end, Lord will remember us. So he is asking in this verse, what it is saying in the translation? It is, please remember my sacrifices. What is the meaning of sacrifices? Specially mentioned in the purport, Srila Prabhupada explained, that means denying the interest of senses. That is the sacrifice, what we are doing throughout the life. What it means? Denying the interest of the senses means we are detached. So we are controlling our senses. We are becoming the Swamis, not Godas, like a Grahamedis. So Godas means they are controlled by the mind. They listen whatever mind is saying. But Godas is different. They control the mind. They control the mind and senses. That means whatever they say, the mind will listen. So if the mind says, get up in the morning, do the chanting, the mind will listen. Okay, it become friend. And also the mind says, let us go to temple, not to the other enjoyment recreation centers. So mind listens. So you have to train your mind throughout your life. That is the denying the interest of senses. You are controlling the mind. If you are doing that, if you are detached from the sense enjoyment, that is a sacrifice. How you can do it? The last point, last topic I'm going to discuss today is how to remember. So the Prabhupada and our Acharyas given so many processes to us how to remember it. So how to remember that? First, you make some time you squeeze some time. You are so busy. So you are so busy in maintaining your family with children, job, so many other things. Squeeze some time. So if you cannot do the chanting throughout the life, see sometime in the morning, get up in the morning, do at least 3-4 rounds. Lord sees that sincerity. And read some books with the Lord. Sit in front of the Lord. Read some books. And read some books with the family members, children. Glorify the Lord. The small things, it will be counted. You no need to feel you are guilty. No, I cannot do anything. I cannot do chanting in the morning. So I cannot do this one. So many other people are doing so many services. I cannot. No, you never feel your mind feel guilty. That is the biggest drawback. So always, whatever chance you are getting, take the advantage, grab that opportunity, do something the part. It is countable. Lord sees that sincerity. Even though busy, she is squeezing time for me. When Prahlad Maharaj, after killing the Hiranyakashipu, the Nasingdev was there. Lord was sitting. He was crying. So Brahma asked, why you are crying? So he said, so he tolerated pains. The Prahlad, he's 5 years old boy, he tolerated pains for me. He did so many sacrifices for me. When the father with the soldiers, he asked them to throw from the mountains. He tolerated that pain. They were frying Prahlad in the hot oil. He tolerated that pain. So he was in the midst of the snakes. He tolerated the pain. Like that, he tolerated so much pain just for me. Lots of sacrifices for me. So Lord sees that. So you have to cry for the Lord. You have to squeeze some time for the Lord and be with the association. So in the material world, there are so many associations, Indian association, BC association, different associations, sports association. So leave all this association, live in the association of devotees, Krishna conscious devotees, read books. So glorify the Lord in the association. They are going to help you. There are in the Christian missionary chaplaincy. So what they do? They are spiritual supervisors, advisors. They go to each and everyone. They advise people. They take care of people. Chaplaincy. So especially when they are leaving the body, they go there. They support them mentally, physically. They support them. So here also in our congregation, so in the Prabhupada big family, we have devotees. Share with them, make a friends with the devotees. They come to you. If you cannot remember the Lord at the time of that, so you are with engrossed. So many other things, they help you, they read for you, they chant for you, they do kirtan for you. They make you remember the Lord. That is the advantage of Krishna consciousness. So the people, the devotees, they help you. So remember, do the seva for them, honor, offer prasadam to them, serve for them. So like this, you have to spend some time for the Krishna. So exclusively devotion service, loving devotion for the Krishna. So that means you're associating with Krishna directly through the books, through the kirtan, through the devotees. You are connecting with Krishna. That connecting help you to remember at the end of the life. So our gurus also explain in order to get in championship, how the sports person, they try, even in the cold water, they swim, they run for the many miles to practice that. They take a determination in the same way to attain that, to pass the test, to achieve the highest goal. So we have to continuously endeavor the practice of remembering the Lord throughout our life. So instead of remembering mundane things, so in this case, Puranjan also remembering wife, children, family, so many other things. He is not remembering the Lord. So as a devotee, so we have to cultivate habit of this practicing the Lord's name activities, and that the time we are spending, how we are spending the time with these activities, that is so important. So these activities help us to remember the Lord at the end of the time, so that we will fulfill all these processes, whatever Krishna is giving in the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. So we can fulfill that process and we can attain the perfection. The main thing is hearing and glorifying and remembering the Lord. If you do these three activities in the association of devotees, so if you squeeze time for these three, your life will be perfect. So definitely you will remember the Lord at the time of death. And Prabhupada also give example. So if the child is crying, so as a mother, you leave everything and you take that. The priority is picking up the child. So that's what the Lord also does. If you are giving your life prioritize to the Lord, so you are crying for the Lord definitely will come. So if you do some endeavors, the mercy of the Lord also adds. That will help us to remember the Lord at the end of the time. So at the end, so in order to remember the Lord, we have to follow this process, that is sadhana. So the whole Krishna consciousness is about the sadhana, how to remember the Lord, how to hear the Lord, how to glorify the Lord, how to chant about the Lord. So these things are trained in this process by our previous acharyas. If you take the training seriously from today onwards, definitely we can attain the perfection at the end of the life. The end of the life, what is that? What is the end of the life means? We should not come into fall material world. So we don't come into this material world. So that is the test you are passing. So coming, that is the biggest danger in the Bhagavad Gita, second chapter, 20th verse. What it is? Neha Bikramanasosti Pratyavana Vidyate Swalpamapi Asya Dharmasya Eto Mahato Bhayat. What Krishna is saying, even the smallest devotional service you are doing, it will save you from the biggest danger. What is the danger? Fall into the material world. So that means you no need to take birth again. You can go back to Godhead. So that's what this whole practice of Krishna consciousness. So we will be free from material entanglement and we will go to bed. We attain Lord at the end of our life. So we wasted so many years, so many births, so many births with different bodies, purposes. Just use this time, this life for Krishna. You will get back to Lord for sure by following all these procedures given by Sila Acharya Sila Sukadeva Goswami in the Bhagavatam and Sri Acharyas, the previous Acharyas in their nectarian literatures. If you follow all these principles correctly and squeeze some time for the Lord, definitely Lord will be pleased. He will see that sincerity, and so that you will remember. If you cannot remember, as we studied in this verse 17th in this Upanishad, he will remember us. So we have to request Lord, please remember our sacrifices. Sacrifices means how we sacrificed our senses and perform your duty. So Krishna says in the 9th chapter also, whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer, whatever you give up, give it on this on the behalf of me, sacrifice me, give it to me, I will take care. So these are the sacrifices you are doing for the Lord, so that Lord will remember all these sacrifices when we cannot remember at the time of the death. So in both way, we will be beneficial. So by this practice, if you remember at the time of the death, that is well and good. If you cannot also, Lord will help us. So in both way, we will be beneficial. If you remember the Lord, if you glorify Lord, if you hear about Lord throughout your life instead of mundane activities. That is my message today. I will stop here. Please, if you have any comments or if you want to add anything, you are free, feel free to add. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandot Pranam.
Dandavad pranam, Guruji.
Such a beautiful explanation, and you have elaborated the thing so nicely to make it easy for understanding for each and every one while listening to this. It's very, very important and very, very thorough. And you talk about how the Kriyamedis and Grihastha, these two parts, so important for it in our life. We don't really understand the importance, but it is so designed in the society. And if we classify them and try to understand the meaning, we can know what is the meaning and what is the purpose and what is their duty. So Grihayamedi and Grihastha, they are two same identity in a separate direction.
Yes.
And it's so important to become a Grihastha. That's why Prabhupada in every part of his discussion through Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavad, he has mentioned this, the Grihastha life. So we are Grihasthas, so we should know what is our purpose of life.
Yes.
Not only the sense gratification, side by side, some other gratification which is out of the senses. That is the part of the Grihastha life.
Yes, yes.
And that gives us the way of living. So one is art of living and other one is art of living, L-E-A-V-I-N-G, art of dying. These two things has to go parallel. That's why it's very, very important for Grihasthas not to be Grihamedi and to become a perfect Grihastha. And that aim of life is very important in all human life. Okay, part of the life is to enjoy, but what the second part, which is called this goal of life, that needs to be balanced side by side.
Yes.
Because anything, if you don't practice right from the beginning, it never happens with you. It never carries any flavor with it. So to practice this Grihamedi status of life, we need to practice right from the beginning. Okay, family life is one side, other is the spiritual life. That is spiritual life, how to maintain, that you have given examples with so many verses. And the other thing is how the story of Brahmanas and Narad Muni is so fantastic, so related, that in every stages you think we are done, but there is a shortfall. So that gives us the indication. There is a point where you need to separate the two functions so that you do something for yourself. You are doing for others is fine, but what about yours? What about your life? So that is the turning point, and that is the challenge in our life. Prabhupada is mentioning through the verses and through his lectures. This is where we need to teach ourselves the purpose of life. And that is how we get into. Here you can see King Puranjana, throughout his life he was enjoying his senses, but he never stopped separating up the senses, thinking other way. So Narad Muni is giving an lesson that you have done your activities for the family, society, for country, but what about yourself? So that is our lesson. We need to prepare ourselves. Time is ripening. So before we end up this life, we need to divert our direction toward the art of dying and prepare ourselves for the end of life, so that we can go back to the Lord, as we are a part of the spiritual identity. So to the Lord on his responsibility, because whatever he do, it counts. It never goes into waste. So accordingly, we can get the stages in our life after. So that is the message, and that is what I understood from your lecture. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
And the other thing, and in this connection, that's what it is said in English, God helps them who help themselves. So you need to start from any point, and God will automatically come and help you.
So you have to show some efforts throughout life. Then only God will. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you for adding so many points. Hare Krishna. Anybody would like to share or add any points?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you very much for the elaborated explanation of all the parts very nicely. And also Tushta Chaitanya Prabhu has covered most of the things you have told. So thank you for that. Only one point I just want to mention on this one. We have very nicely pointed out that the Isha Upanishad verse 17, where it is told that if we do our part nicely, I mean that means we remain faithful to the Lord and do our service nicely, the Lord will definitely reciprocate us. It just reminds me one verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, and that is Lord Brahma is telling, Tatte anukampa shushuvikshamano bhunjane vatmakrito vipakam ridvak bakuvir vidadan namaste jivetyo muktipade shodhaiva. That means, my dear Lord, one who has earnestly waits for you to bestow your causeless mercy upon him, all the while patiently suffering the reactions of his past misdeeds and offering you respectful obeisances with his heart, words, and body is surely eligible for liberation, for it has become his rightful claim. So, if we do our duty, we can hope the Lord will help us through his devotees, through his associates, and our Guru and our spiritual master, that all these will help us to go back to the Godhead if we do our part sincerely. So we have to make sure that we do it seriously and live the mercy of the Lord and live to the rest to the Lord. The Lord will definitely take care of it. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you for adding nice point here. So anybody like to add anything? Or?
There's nothing we can end the class here. Thank you for your very nice class. Panchakalpataruvesya.
कृपासिन्धुभ्यो पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। हर ग्रेस सावित्री माता जी की जय। प्रभुपाद की जय। गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। All glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.